Boleh mula.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Today we would like to present our group assignment HRIS. Before we start, I will introduce my team members. My name is NADIRAH binti MAZLAN.
My name is NURIL BALQISS HUMAIRA binti RASYID.
And my name is SYAFIQAH binti ROSLAN.
And my name is ZARISYA binti ZULKIFLI.
So here our table of content. First is current trend in HRIS. Second is issue of HRIS. Third, future trends and challenge for HRM. Fourth, disadvantage of HRIS. Legal requirement of information security. And the last one is conclusion. For the first point, current trend in HRIS, ZARISYA will present.
For current trend in HRS is automatic completion purchase, automatic staging of component process which alert to operate administrate employee prior to deadline for upgrade and audit. For second is audit, automatic reminder and instruction for both new hires and existing employee to correct and update their personality individual information as well as many required for background check and contract. Lastly is integrate self-service help for employee including complete the training facts and knowledge based on perform for HR or complaint question. For next slide, I will pass for NADIRAH.
For issue of HRIS, first is facing with change management. Change management is a collection of activities focused on preparing and supporting organization during a transformation. So at this time, they must ensure the acceptance of the change and the adoption of new ways of working. The second one is lack of functional expertise. To have a flexible system running the department, the company need to hire an expert in this HRIS to keep maintain the system. So when the company does not have the expertise people, HRIS itself cannot solve the difficulty situation because of wrong designing in HRIS. Third is no training provided to employee. HRIS is considered the most up-to-date technology for managing human resource, but not every manager or employee understand how to use it effectively because of no training provided. They would face with the problem to implement it well. Fourth is improper vendor provide illegal copy. For this issue, to implement the HRIS in the company is expensive. So many of company willing to implementation the illegal copy of HRIS because the improper vendor cost is more cheaper. So it is possible to the vendor store the information from the company, have virus and make it system down. And the last one is level of cooperation and support. Some company that implement HRIS are unable to get support from and cooperation from the employee due to the unseen and unexpected change. Next, I will pass to ZARISYA.
For future trend and challenges for HRM, firstly is discover the right talent, with the rise in the business competition at a fast speed and may another investor being at stake in it will be adapted task to finding the most fit talent for them. This is one more than there be reason for head for most company. This means the responsibility for finding the right people to take their business process will be a complete complex process for all emerging sector and organization, making it one top of challenges for HRM management people to face. Secondly is focusing more on collaboration work. In many company is looking being the best of the team, then collaboration team is really important. So in organization, focusing on encouraging their employee to do their job as much cooperation as possible. It seen as a force strength for getting their work done effectively and production in almost organization this year. Thirdly is artificial intelligence AR in HR and recruiting. Most HR and recruiting work are already automated. It will only take this process of automatic further forward using the combination of AI power tool and human element and engaging and retiring more for the employee to become a norm now. Fourthly is flexible work adjustment in order to retain the greater number of talent employee, provide them with an adjusted working environment is higher estate. Many young people want flexible working hour to have social life outside the work. Also, many talent women decide to come back work after long break. So realizing this fact, many companies already has started to adjust their policy of working adjustment. Or lastly is giving importance to employee achievement. In this age of digitalization, employees expect to enjoy a much better working experience everywhere. It means because of the growing impact, millennial and transparency. As the result of that, company leaders are looking to focus making very possible experience of employee better, as they also play an important role in retention of talent employee. For next is I pass Nadira.
For the advantages of HRIS, first is high cost. When company implement HRIS, the system require acquisition and maintenance cost. The larger the system, the more higher costs are needed for the company. It will be costly because they need to take some time and money to train the employees and adapt with the system. The second one is data security level. Even HRIS is generally safe and secure, a data breach can still be occurred. As example, the addition of unknown IP address access can make systems susceptible to outside hackers as well as devious computer system of employees. Is defect in implementation system. There can be error, fault, and failure of output generation into the system. It can be defect sometimes and not be able to provide actual result for the organization, or information can be wrong and misleading. What is human error? Sometimes the expected also may make mistake when entering personal data into system. That will result in predicting failure. Even the HRIS totally based on computers, but the information is still stored by the human. And the last one is infrastructure. When implement HRIS in organization, of course, they need computer or any technology devices that are up to date. So it requires more approvals or sanction device to maintain the system. Next, I will pass to NURIL BALQISS.
I will continue legal requirement of information security. This is what I think the legal standard for information security should be. The European Union's Data Protection Directive. According to this regulation, all EU members must develop national legislation to ensure that citizens' data privacy is protected across the EU. The European Commission has appointed data protection officer who is in charge of overseeing and enforcing data protection standards within the EU. In collaboration with the European data protection supervisor, the data protection officer independently ensure the internal application of the data protection rules. When personal data is utilized by criminal law enforcement authorities for law enforcement purpose, the regulation preserve people fundamental right to data protection. It will ensure that the personal information of victims, witnesses, and criminal suspects is properly protected, as well as enhance cross-border collaboration in the fight against crime terrorism. We'll pass to FAKHIRA SYAFIQAH.
Okay, lastly, I will present the conclusion. Okay, firstly, in more ways than once, the last few years have reshaped the human resource management industry from a flexible work model to a holistic approach to employee well-being. 2022 will be the year HR adds value to the recent information. What should the HR industry be looking forward to? What bands should you be on the lookout for? This article will provide insight into what HR trends to expect from the industry and how they can affect workers and workplace. And secondly, employers must reconsider their strategies in light of COVID-19 and adhere to global HR trends in the future. We hope that this post will encourage HR professionals and leaders to stay current on HR trends and best practice. The future HR trends 2022 will adaptedly assist your organization in becoming a better workplace. And then lastly, HRM must be integrated into the overall strategy to ensure that people are used effectively and that organizations receive a higher ROI, return on investment, for every rupee or dollar spent on them. From Hris, losing money if their human resource management practice are not designed in this manner, and this does not bode well for the organization success. And thank you. That's all for our present.